Today we're going to do something a little different. I'd like to talk to you about my anxiety in relation to my paintings and my paintings in relation to my anxiety. I normally do thrift styling and closet styling on here, but today I am forced to do this because I'm avoiding it. So I'm avoiding this type of video, and every time I feel myself strongly avoiding something, it's usually because I'm afraid, and I am always meeting my fears because honestly, because I when I fear something, my self-esteem is triggered, and so I force myself to meet that fear just so that I don't feel so bad inside. So today's the day, mainly because I lost my glasses last night. I don't know what happened. They just disappeared, and so I can't paint, and I'm currently working on a few self-portraits, and so I can't paint. I decided this is the time. This is the perfect time for you to make this video. Anyhow, so my anxiety started two or 3 years ago. I think it was about 3 years ago now. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was October 1st. And this is how it happened to me. So I am naturally very happy, very high on life. And this Saturday morning, I was on my way to a matinee and to have breakfast. And something strange happened. I made myself a smoothie, a morning smoothie for the road. And on my way to the movie theater, I remember looking at my smoothie in the car and thinking, if I have this smoothie, I'm going to choke and die. And it was a strange, overwhelming feeling. I can feel my heart racing. I can feel my hands getting wet, my feet getting wet. And I didn't say anything. I held it in. I didn't know what was happening. And I just couldn't understand because I myself, Isabel, was also there, present, like thinking, that's not real. If you have your smoothie, you're not going to choke. But there was a deeper, stronger fear that I would. So it was just strange. I didn't know what to do. When we got to the restaurant for breakfast, I ordered scrambled eggs. And when my food came, I looked at it and I could not touch it. I felt like I would eat it, like I would choke and die on it. So I excused myself from the table and I went to the bathroom to cry. That's the most fear I ever felt in my life because I had no clue what was happening to me. I was crying and breathing and praying and I had the question out there, what's happening to me? I kept saying, what's happening to me? What's happening to me? I was alone in the bathroom, thank God, and I was rinsing my face and crying. So then I go back to the table and my husband, I tell him, can I talk to you for a minute? Can we leave? And of course he doesn't have a clue what's going on. So he's concerned, and I tell him right then and there, something's wrong. I feel like I'm going to choke on my food if I eat it. This continued on for a really long time. And eventually I went to behavioral therapy. That's basically when you're showing physical signs of anxiety, physical signs that there's a deeper issue, you go to behavioral therapy, and that feeling like I'm going to choke, afraid to eat, essentially is something to do with behavior. So I found one. He was really, really expensive, so I only had the opportunity to see him twice, and then he recommended someone who was not so expensive, and I saw him twice, and eventually I just worked my way into it on my own and found another therapist, just someone to talk to and walk me through why this might be happening to me. So before I moved on to I guess you can say a talk therapist, my behavioral therapist, he told me that this is just a glitch in the nervous system. I told him just happened like this. I woke up fine. By the time it was time to drink my smoothie, as I was making my smoothie, I didn't have these fears. By the time it was for me to drink my smoothie, this happened. So it was literally like that, like just something that turned on or off within my chemistry. I don't really know. And he said that it was just a glitch in the nervous system. That's exactly, those are his words. And for a long time, I was so afraid. I was afraid to drink water. The entire week, I was afraid to drink water. That's how intense it was. It was just like a battle within me, because every time I went to drink water, I said, this is just water. It's not gonna hurt you. You've been drinking it your whole life. I would reject it. Like I would like tense up, you know, like I would become really afraid and I just wouldn't drink it. So it's been about 3 years. For like months after that, I suffered a little bit. I lost a little weight. I got back slowly, you know, soups and smoothies, and slowly and into eating. And now 3 years later, I would say I'm fine, but it's altered me. It's had its impact on me. It's had its effect. And so now I'm a really slow eater, but I think that this is a good thing. I don't think you should be taking bites and swallowing. So I'm a slow eater. I take my time with everything now. I feel like this happened to me because I have hypertension, I think it's called. And so it forced me to slow down. I can tell when I'm anxious, my hands go like they go really cold. They become frozen. And I know that I need to breathe. I need to do my gut exercises and just take it easy. If I'm talking too fast, I slow down. If I'm walking too fast, I slow down. So I am affected still. I still take it easy. I still watch what I eat. It's nothing compared to how bad it was 3 years ago when I was afraid to drink water, but it has altered me. It definitely has altered me in a way. You know, I chew the hell out of my food. I just take it easy, honestly. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I take it easy. What else? So around that time, I was working on a painting, a self-portrait, and this happened to me, and I couldn't return back to my portrait, mainly because I had bigger problems. You know, I had to deal with my anxiety. So my talk therapist at the time, she, you know, I told her I'm working on a painting. I was working on a painting before all this, and I'm having trouble getting back to it. And she would, you know, she told me that that I shouldn't worry about the painting, that I should just work on a new one. And she said, when you do work on a new one, it's not going to be like anything you've ever painted, because you're no longer the same. That person that you were before the anxiety doesn't exist anymore, basically, because I've had such a serious experience that has altered everything about me, my way of thinking, my beliefs, and in a way that is true, in a way that is very true. I am a different person than I was 3 years ago. Anyhow, so it was a self-portrait that I was working on. I got the landscape and the background part done, which is so interesting because I have so much trouble with the background. When I am working on a painting, I always work on the portrait itself, the focus. I can never think of what I want for the background, and so the background is always something I do at the end, which makes life much harder for you because you have to then squeeze into angles, into the negative spaces that might not be big enough for you. So you have to just take your time, and it becomes a headache. If you could avoid it, avoid it. If you could do your background first, do your background first. So in that, you know, I had my background set up. I was supposed to work on my self-portrait, and she said that I couldn't work on it because I was just lost. I didn't really know who I was, and I still haven't gotten back to it. It's still there, minus me. It's there, minus me. I can't get to it just yet, but I will. So the painting behind me is the one that I did after the anxiety. This is the first one that I did after I was struck with anxiety, and I don't know, I guess it's different from anything I've ever done because it's flesh toned. Because in my mind, all my other self-portraits have been me in color. And they're not always Isabel, like Isabel's face, but they are pieces of me, pieces of my life. And anyhow, so it's different in that it's flesh tone. That's pretty much all I can say for now. I can't identify how else it's different. Maybe you all can. Anybody out there critiques or analyzes art, in depth, even though it's just me. I don't think too much about my paintings, and my paintings, they reveal themselves to me and what they mean in my life sometimes years later, years after I paint them. I paint from my subconscious, and I don't really know what it means until time has passed. Anyhow, so this is the one that I did after the anxiety. The paintings that I'm working on now, paintings that I'm working on at the moment are just hand paintings, self-portraits, hand paintings, my hands. I do have an interesting, I always stare at my hands. I think they're really pretty. I'm grateful for them. I'm always thankful for them. I'm always expressing the gratitude for my hands, my functioning hands. And then there's this other thing that happens to my hands when I'm in the presence of a precious little angel. Every time I see a little baby, I have this shock to my hands. And I always talk about it, me and my friends and my husband, and they've never experienced it. Recently, I'm reading about chakras. I'm learning about chakras and how they work. And there's a nadis, or a meridian, I guess a pathway of energy that goes from your heart to your hands. And I'm thinking that that might be it. I really don't know for sure. I've told my doctors about this as well, and they don't really know what to make of it either. But it always happens. I have this like a feeling in my hands. It's like shocking and like numbness at the same time, but it always happens. It always happens. And I mean, that can be why I'm painting my hands at the moment. I'm not sure. So I was really afraid to go back to painting after when everything was happening with my anxiety, because I was afraid that I didn't know how to paint anymore. I am a self-taught painter, even though I just think it's a gift from the universe, from out there somewhere. I am self-taught. I guess you can call it that here on earth, but to me it's just something that I was born with. I think all of us are born with something special, and some of us don't ever get to realize it and can never really figure it out, but I figured it out early on, and this is it for me. For the most part, before my anxiety, painting was a very stressful experience for me. It was like I became obsessed every time I was working on a self-portrait, and I just got temperamental, emotional, and I would just kind of abuse myself until I got it right. And then eventually I abandoned the painting when I felt I couldn't do anything else, or I just said it's time to move on. But before that, it's just always been a negative, more negative than anything else experience for me painting. And I don't really know why. Now it's not like that anymore. I paint, I'm not happy when I'm painting. I'm not chilling. I'm not blessed in music or in that kind of setting where it's a fun experience, but it's not obsessive anymore. I'm working on 2 portraits right now at the same time, and I've never been able to do that. I've always been obsessed with a single portrait to the point that I can't work on anything else until I'm done with that one, or until I give up on it. This one I gave up on at this stage, and now I'm working on 2, and that's very different for me. So I am not as obsessed as I once was, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm trying to think of what else to say. I didn't prepare for this video. I just pressed record. What else can I say? I've decided right now in front of you all, the 2 self-portraits I'm working on, I'm going to start on a 3rd one. And that is going to be going back to the painting that I was working on before my anxiety hit. I'm going to find myself and put myself in that painting. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get my glasses. Those are my favorite glasses, my clear glasses. And they fit my face shape beautifully. And they're clear, so I feel like they're neutral. And I can't find them. LensCrafters doesn't have them anymore. And so I found them on eBay. And I was so happy because there was only 1 pair in the internet, and it was that 1 pair in eBay, and I purchased them. So I'm waiting to get those, and then going to LensCrafters to get my prescription, my new prescription, because my old one expired. Yes, so I'm going to be working on 3 paintings at a time. I'm going to insert myself in that portrait, in that self-portrait that I left blank many years ago, and and I'm going to move on. I'm going to work and work and work and work and breathe easy and take it slow and just be at peace while I'm here on Earth. I love Earth. I really do. I think Earth is the most beautiful place. I love it so much. I wonder if there are other Earths out there. And for the most part, I tell myself, Isabel, you are on Earth and you don't know if you're going to come back. You don't know if there's another Earth. You don't know what's next. You got to be decent and kind to yourself while you're here, because this is your Earth experience. So you have to truly be here and be kind to yourself and not worry about exterior things. Everything you do, take it easy. Don't become overwhelmed. Don't become stressed out. Don't become obsessed with anything. Nothing is greater than your spirit. So just be here, enjoy the Earth experience, and that's it, I guess. So that's what I'm doing now. I still have anxiety. I still have moments where I guess I need to practice breathing, because I get really, you know, anxious and my feet get wet and my hands get wet. And so when that's happening, I know I just gotta breathe a little, take it easy, talk it out. If something's on my mind, let it out of my mind. Meditate. I'm learning to meditate in a way where I'm not overly stressed about it. You know, in the past I have tried to meditate and been frustrated because I can't. But now meditating means different things to me. Now I'll focus on a single color. And with that single color, I'll draw things. Or I'll see the things that are happening in my eyelids. Like behind my eyelids, you know, there's a lot of energy and a lot of color, and I can see it, and so I play with it. I'll concentrate on something on YouTube, like a meditation video on YouTube. And, you know, they tell you what to picture and how to go about it. And I just follow along. So there's different ways to meditate for me now. I don't just try and find quiet and stillness anymore. That's a lot of pressure for me. My mind is very creative and very active. And so I work with it, you know. I don't try to shut it up anymore. I just take it easy. I control it, I guess you can say. What else? So that's my approach for now. And that's my anxiety and painting story, I guess. Like I said, I was really scared to go back to painting. And I thought if I try to paint and I cannot paint, I don't know, I might die. That was my honest to God fear. I said, if I cannot paint, I'm gonna die. I know it, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to face that. I wasn't ready to be heartbroken and destroyed and whatever dying meant at the moment. But I did, and this is the self-portrait that came from that. So, it is so undone, but I'm fine with that. I'm gonna let it go and leave it right there. Yeah, the background was pinkish, and I don't know if you can see it right there. Right there's a little pink still there. Because like I said, the background for this one came after the portrait. So so I had to like work and be gentle and strategic about painting in those areas without ruining the legs, but it's still there. I can see it. I don't know if I'm gonna fix it ever. Maybe maybe not. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it probably seems like it's everywhere and not focused at all, but it's what I got right now. So I hope that you can understand. It is a sensitive topic for me, and I'm trying my best. I do not like talking about myself. I could talk about clothes and materialistic things all day long, but talking about myself, it makes me want to cry. I don't know why. Talking about myself, like right now I feel like I'm holding back tears because I just feel so exposed and nude. Whew. Anyhow, yes. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you stay tuned for my next videos. I've been spotting really cool vintage dresses at the thrift store at the Goodwill in East Harlem right here, and I think I'm gonna pick it up. It looks like it's about to rip up. It looks like if I sit down to go rip, and I'm fine with that because it's $6, so it just doesn't look like it's the best quality, even though it is silk. I feel like the stitching is weak. It already has like stretching to the stitching, and that's why I say that. And I know that these hips are gonna make it worse, but maybe it is a one-night dress. Maybe I can be fine, and it won't hurt too much to just wear it on a fun night out because it's just so vintage and pretty. I think I'm gonna go back for it. It's $6 at the moment, so why not? Anyhow, again, thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe, please hit your notifications, and please holla at me in the comments below. Are you a painter? Do you paint? What is your artistic outlet? Do you find it easy to talk about yourself? Do you feel like crying when you talk about yourself too? I don't know, but I do all the time. But I gotta work on it, I guess. It's just another thing to work on. It's no big deal because I'm on Earth and this place is so dope. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.